Okay, we are now recording it. Then I'm going to share my screen. We're going to share the main screen. And then we are going to go to this and start the slideshow. Do. So guess what, everybody? I'm changing our commission structure for the first time in maybe 12 or 15 years. Some of you are probably freaked out and you don't need to be. You're all going to come out ahead except me. So why are we doing it? Well, it hadn't been a great winter. You haven't had a great winter either. We cut a lot of expenses by moving into one building, but it didn't cure our situation. There is some competition out there that is lower than us, and I like to be competitive. Now, there's a lot of competition that's higher than us. We've been, for 27 years, we've been in business. For the last 12 to 15 years, we've had the same commission structure. And even though we've cut the expenses, it wasn't enough. However, our efficiency as a company has gotten a lot better. We like that. So we want to try to utilize our efficiency and make more money. So Chris and Tracy have heard me say over the years, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Is there anybody who has a question about what that means?
What does that mean?
It looks rocky and out in front of us, but the hell with it. We're going to go like there's nothing holding us back. So we're going to cut the commissions that we collect from you guys. That means you get to keep more money. That makes us more competitive with a couple, 3 companies that are lower than us and a lot in competitive with some companies that are where we're going to be and way underneath some of the other companies that are out there. When you guys get excited, you make more money. I found that excited and confident agents sell more. We're going to increase the number of agents we have in the company. That's how I'm going to make up for my end for what I'm giving you. And I want things to be simple. One of the hardest things to do sometimes, and Chris has to do this a lot too, is explain to people our commission structure. Because we got this, we have that cap and this cap, and then we've got these costs. And I don't like any of that. So here's what we're going to do. We will no longer be charging you guys franchise.
That's 6%.
That's 6%. I'm no longer charging you franchise fees. Better Homes and Gardens is charging you franchise fees. So I'm taking the tab up for $150,000 so you guys can make some more money.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for the wow. I need some wows. Please tell me that sounds good to you guys. Okay. We are going to go to an 80-20 split across the board with a cap of $17,000. Now, some of you will say that cap's higher than mine because I set you up a long time ago. Some of you will say that's about what I'm paying now. But here's what I can tell you. I've run these numbers everywhere across various points of how much money you make, what split you were on, and so on. Everybody comes out ahead. Even the best split in our company, they still come out ahead at 80-20 to 17,000. Partially because the franchise fee was double of what most of you would pay. And we will continue with the $68 franchise fee. Transaction. Thank you. Now, I'll be honest, part of the reason I'm going here is the XP here in town has no franchise fee. They're 80-20 to 16,000, we're 17, and they charge $65 for transaction fee. They also have no office. They also have limited, if any, live instruction. They also have a bunch of people out there who have varying qualities as an agent. That bothers me. I want to have better choice on that. But that's what we're going to for everyone across the board. Good, bad, okay. We have to think about it. What do we?
I think they're waiting for the other shoe to
We
fall.
are.
Right.
Yeah. What's the bet?
They're waiting for the back.
What's the bad?
Yeah.
There is no ban.
I think it needs to be fair for you. I think it needs to be fair for you as well.
I'm gonna ask you to do something. Okay, so currently, if you're on a 70-30 split and you ignore the cap, that would be your check at the end of the day. Your new one, that would be your check at the end of the day. That's a lot more money for each of you. I know that some of you are stuck on the, well, my cap is this. Get that out of your head. The franchise fee is a bunch of money. The second thing, if you did cap, you would go from 6,900 to 7,400. You're still coming out. Oops, there's a check. What's the
So
check?
it was 100% after.
Wow, says Jason.
You're getting your wow.
Thank you. Is it 100%? Yeah, we still charge $68. Monthly fees. We are not having a monthly fee. EXP has a monthly fee that can be anywhere from $150 to $300. JPAR has, I think, $600 a year plus $100 a year plus. Okay. I don't like monthly fees because people get behind and I have to collect. No changes. Office rent. All of you that currently have an office will not pay office rent, period. New agents that we hire will start paying office rent. That's part of what I'm giving you for having spent with us for all this time. Thank you. And as we make this transition, I'm going to ask you to help some more. So this is part of keeping on with them. Camera fees, no changes. Printing fees, no changes. Relocation, no changes, except no franchise fee. So if you're on Cardis, I'm still not charging you franchise.
Really?
Yeah, really. Referral fee. This is a little bit trickier because if I get a referral check from out of town and I don't charge franchise fees, I end up losing money. So I am going to charge 6% franchise on incoming referral checks. That will be between both of us, just like it has been.
A couple checks.
Chance.
Oh, chat. Do I get another wow? Hall monitor today. Thank you, Elena. We'll talk more later. Implementation. This isn't getting turned on tomorrow. It takes me a while to get to the place where I need to be. And you can help us speed up the implementation. So here's what happens. I need about 15 to 20 more bodies in this office to make this plan work. I am not asking you guys to become a Keller Williams recruiter trying to get 20 agents. That ain't happening. However, if you're working with somebody and you think they're a good recruit, a good choice for the company, and we recruit them, I will put both of you on the new plan immediately. So let's say Cheryl's working with somebody from Keller Williams who's thinking about EXP because that's a natural progression for a Keller Williams agent. And she says, you know what? We just cut our commission plans. It's as good as the other place. And on top of that, you'll be in the better off. And that agent says, great, I'll come over and join. Both Cheryl and that new agent will be on the new plan as soon as we sign them up. You don't have to wait for me to get 15 to 20 agents, okay? Now then, let's say that Pam is talking to an agent and gets onto the new plan, and then another agent comes to Pam and says, I heard about this new plan you're doing over there. Can I join too? And Pam says, sure. Now Pam's got two agents. Pam can decide who that second agent is going to in the company. You're welcome, Pam. So Pam could say, I got a second agent on. I'm going to give him to Cece. Now Cece's on the new plan at the same time as the new agent. Now let me get this out there. I want you guys selling real estate. I don't want you recruiting, but I've got to move us from, we are down to about 62, 63 agents. We got to get back to 80 and more to make this plan work. So I'm asking you to help me get all of us to where we can make more money. And until we get to that 15 to 20 new agents, I will not be able to convert the whole company. This is an offer for you to help me start moving us down that road. That's why I say 2 to 4 months. Now, I will tell you that at Realogy, coming from a former EXPer, this is the best of both worlds. I love it. Thank you, Priscilla. I can tell you, people at corporate think I'm nuts to be moving us to that many agents in 4 months. The difference is they don't know how good you guys are. They don't know how strong you are to go out and make noise of what I think is pretty decent news in the marketplace. Comments? So some recruiting ideas. I don't want you to go out and become, I pick on Keller Williams, but they really do this whole thing about get an agent, you get a downstream and upstream or whatever stream, I don't know. Somebody pee in my stream.
Yeah, Mike.
Downline, okay. So go out starting today and say, if you're working with somebody, say, oh my God, they just cut our commissions. This is one of the hardest time in real estate. The money's down for everybody. They're all looking how to cut expenses. I don't want to cut expenses. I want to grow the company.
Are you gonna put this on our social posting?
Oh, yeah.
Because I can just go there and share, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And just talk to them about how we cut the expenses. You don't have to make it a long drawn out. You need to come be with us. This is an opening. Second, if the potential that you want to add to our company seems interested, they need to have a sit down with whoever is in here talking to them and me.
You're still gonna qualify agents, right? No poopy people.
Yes. Well, one, I'm counting on you. I don't think my people in this room are gonna ask for poopy people. I like your term. Although we all have to poop, I understand, but you know.
We are really exceptional group, you know, these people, and we're here because of these people. And I just don't want to lose that.
I fully,
And I trust you that that won't happen.
exactly. That's why they're sitting down with you and me. Now, we tried a program once before where we would spiff people if they brought somebody on. And what I hated was, oh, I talked to that person once 3 months ago and I'm trying to recruit them. And this is why we gotta have a sit down. Whoever convinces the potential addition to sit down with me and you, I want you in the room with us because your excitement, your qualification of what we talk about will help us bring new people in. That's the person that gets credit for the new agent. If they join, we put both of you on the new plan immediately for all future transactions. I'm not going to go backwards. Sorry, I can't do that. But anything you write going forward will be the new one. How to get credit for the agent. You have to talk to them. So here's the deal. Just like you do with a buyer agent or a listing. You can't just talk to them once and 3 months later you decide to sign up and then you say, no. You have to have talked to them before they sit down with you. You have to show up at the meeting with them. Don't walk by the office while I'm interviewing and say, hey, I told them that I was bringing them on. And so, whoa, because we're going to try to bring on people too. We are. Because the faster we do our part, and the faster you do your part, we all get to move to the new plan. You have to accompany them at the sit down. I can't. I'm not going to get any argument with any of our agents about, hey, how's your knee, Cindy?
The new one on the 24th.
Yay! Congratulations. So I don't want to get in an argument about, I talked to them once, I've talked to 3 agents, we're going to split them up 3 ways. No, we don't do that. You come into the sit down, whoever comes into the sit down, they get to move to the new plan with the new agent.
No, sorry. splitting an agent.
Yeah, we're not gonna split them. Well, I get half the new plan because I brought half an agent. No.
So we're trying to make things easier.
No,
I'm throwing a few details up here because I'm sure there's gotta be some questions. Your anniversary date will stay the same. That doesn't mean you won't move before that. But if you do move before your anniversary and you have a bunch of accumulation already in the year, we'll give you credit for all of that going into the new plan. So let's say that you got 16,500 towards the new plan. And you've still got 6 months left. We move that 16,500 over and you only got $500. We are going to change slightly. Currently, we make you guys pay us $250 minimum if you're selling your own property. And sometimes we give you money back. We're not going to give you any of that money back. We're going to keep all the $250.
Makes sense.
Okay. Options, just like they are now, nothing changed except you no longer have franchise fees. The new agents that we're bringing on is, I like Cheryl's term, poopy agents. So to make it, well, production is what I'm going to, not. If we bring on, if you bring on 6 brand new agents who've never done a deal, my risk is pretty high. I'm not setting a minimum that they have to sell, but I want them to have some production, you know? If you bring in somebody that has one deal in the last 3 years for $250,000, probably not going to give you credit for that one. Do you need to check out each agent all the time? No, you don't have to check them out. I'm going to trust your instinct when you bring them in, but please understand we will figure it out before we're done. 15 transactions, right? Any transactions you have currently are going to stay with the old plan. When the company changes over, when the company is changing over, when we have about 20 agents or so, then those will everybody's going to change over to the new plan. I want things very, very simple. I don't like collecting monthly fees. I don't like having to wade through a whole bunch of stuff. The franchise fees dates are on the calendar year. Your anniversary date is when you join here, and it's a mess. And when I try to explain that to new agents or existing agents, they look at it as cross-eyed. I don't want cross-eyed anymore. The only thing I'll say about teams is each team operates completely different. Chris and Kim and I have had several conversations about how best their team will operate under the new plan. I will not talk about teams short of, I've got to see how that team works. For instance, some teams in town have something called an ISA, who phones people and make appointments and so on. That would be completely different than a team that is a husband, wife, and 3 kids with no ISA. So all teams will be on an individual basis. I just want you to know that. Not discouraging you from bringing a team over here. I'm just saying I don't know exactly everything until I see how the team operates. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I didn't think this would be real long, and it wasn't.
Nice job.
What I want to say is, I have been working with numbers on this for about 3 weeks. I ran it by my business consultant, who looked at me cross-eyed some days. I think this can work very well, and I know that all of you guys will make more money. Just dropping the franchise fees alone is going to cost me 150 grand, 154 last year. And I'm willing to absorb that if you're willing to go out and help me get some new agents. So my question is, how many of you can bring in an agent or at least talk to somebody? Show of hands. Is this something that sounds worthwhile and decent for you guys?
I think it's genius. Yeah. And it's more than fair.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to set Tracy on, let's see, Raina raised her hand. Thank you, Raina. I know it seems like a bit of a change, and I have no doubt some of you are saying, but my cap's here right now. Believe me, with the new splits, with the no franchise fees, with nothing else changing, the new people getting offices are gonna pay for offices. For you guys being with us all this time, thank you. Yes.
When you say offices,
Microphone.
sorry, when you say offices, are you meaning the actual offices or are you also meaning cubicles?
Both.
Do you have a price set on that? Are you gonna share that with us or would you rather share that in the meeting that you have with the agent?
I don't actually know yet, and it's kind of, there's so many depending, but a number I'm throwing around in my head is cubicle would be $75 a month, which is on par with what a Keller Williams or others would charge. A private office is roughly $200 a month, and again, that's on par with what everybody else would be charging. Again, because you guys have been here and doing this with me, I don't want to do that to you. I want you guys just to make more money. What I want to do is ask you to help me transition to the new plan and help me bring some agents in. When you're out in the community, even if you're not recruiting, talk up the commission cut with excitement so that agents will see how we do things here. It's a lot different than other. I asked an agent, Denise Gray, a lot of you know her. I said, Denise, because I studied all the other companies for about a week. Denise, what is Berkshire Hathaway's commission plan? She said, last time I saw it was a year ago, and it was both sides of a single piece of paper to find out everything. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if it's that complicated, what are you doing to the poor agents who's trying to decide how best to move forward in what should be a pretty simple business? So that's kind of the way I went about this. Yes, Cheryl. You look like you have a question.
I just want to point out that in the market we're in right now, and there's scarcity, or at least perceived scarcity everywhere. Every broker out there is doing the opposite of what you're doing. Every broker out there is taking more and expecting more, not giving more. So I have, you're a very generous person.
Or I'm really stupid. I don't know which. But as I said, damn,
You know, let's point it out, but.
damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I believe that the best growth opportunity is when everybody else is suffering, if you can figure out how to make the growth. And for us, we got a building, we got the staff, we got the efficiencies, we can handle easily 20 more agents. That's our goal. If we get there, I hope at the minimum we're there by the mid fall at the latest. I'd love it if you guys prove me wrong and we were done in July. But that takes you guys to, I can't do that alone.
So you're gonna put hash marks up there as we progress so that we can track it with you?
Sure,
Oh, that'd be fine.
we can do that.
That's good. Yeah, it's kind of exciting. That'll bring out the competitiveness of it a little bit.
Question, so let's say I recruit Sandra. And she comes in and meets and she signs on, so is that when the plan switches, or does she have to be productive until?
No.
I don't get switched until.
It's when you sign them up, you
It's
both get it.
immediate.
And if Sandra leaves in 3 weeks, that's my problem. We didn't do our job to keep them on board or they wouldn't be leaving. If you get them in the door, I want you to have credit.
So at the time that she signs on, any current contracts that are pending, then would switch.
State of the old plan, anything you bring from then going forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to go back and try to keep track. Well, we wrote this in, what's the date here? Nah,
Your accumulation follows you.
Right.
Right, I got that to the new plan.
I know that you're trying, you want to bring in established agents with experience. And I get that because we're going to be, you know, hopefully they can get the job running. I had a previous client reach out to me last night about getting licensed. So what kind of, or what are you going to do with, are you going to not take brand new agents? Or?
Oh, no, we'll take it.
That's not what I do.
And that's a lot of what Chris said.
Yeah. No, you don't have to send them to me. I didn't mean that, but I mean, no, we are gonna continue.
Microphone.
So does that mean if we recruit someone and they want to be on, and they would be a good fit for your team, I would still get switched over?
You know, the way Greg operates is everything is on case by case.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, but don't shy away from people. If you don't want to be their mentor, or if Greg doesn't want to mentor them or whatever, and you guys are like, I got a new person to bring on, I don't know what to do with them. Yeah, send them my way. He can choose whatever he wants to do with it.
Or you could just give me your extra, like I said, on one side,
Microphone, people can't hear you.
or you could just share it with,
Well,
you know.
Right.
To be honest, this is something we talked about. I'm not saying anything out of school. Obviously, Greg had to talk to me and Kim earlier because we have a whole weird team thing that we have to do. So, you know, our plan, I mean, Kim already has the Facebook posts go on Brenda's page. Our plan is to recruit for everybody. I don't care if they're new, they're old or whatever. And you know me, I'll sit down with everybody and talk to them. So our plan is to whatever we bring in, Greg can do with them whatever he wants to do with them. I can't switch my team one person at a time. I have to switch my team as a whole. Whoever that is, if there's 7 of them, 5 of them, whatever, I gotta bring them over at once, because that wouldn't be fair to be like, you can go, but you can't, you know. So our plan is to just bring the people in, and Greg can do with them whatever he feels necessary. If I get 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, 12, I don't care. He can dole them out, or he can just say,
Oh, no, you have to dole them out, so I'm gonna buy Chris chocolates. He doesn't do. But the whole point of this,
so I hope that answers your question.
the whole point of this is, I need help to grow. And I know, thank you, iPhone, we appreciate
I
it.
think it's probably Tim.
Yeah. I know everybody in the company says good things about us now. That's not actively trying to get people to sit down. That's okay. I'm not trying to push anybody in it. What we need to do now is let's charge into the market. Let's take over a position of being very competitive, as well as having the other things in the background to make it work, the tools, the support, the non-selling broker, a building to come into, those kind of things. And if you'll help me with that, we'll all benefit. And that's what I'm here for. Let's all benefit. Cheryl keeps shaking her head. She's been in my
He'll be a
team.
broker, just once to understand what he's doing. I mean, it just is crazy.
And don't forget,
Microphone, Chris.
you're talking to people, it's what I did for years, whatever, try to convey to them that, yeah, you're gonna get this, no franchise, you're gonna have 17 cap or whatever, but they don't have to pay for printing. Pay for copy. They don't have to pay for signs, they don't have to pay for lock boxes, they don't have to pay for anything. And I don't know if it's changed or not, but hell, Greg even used to buy them their first 500 business cards.
We still do.
I mean, they don't even need to have their first 500 business cards. When you take everything on a, like on an expense sheet or something like that, how much are these folks paying in printing and copying and technology and coffee, waterfront fees? And when you add all that up, then the deal they have at whatever company they're at doesn't look as good as it is. For the most part, agents, they only see this bar. All they do is look at a cap. Oh, this is my cap. I don't have to pay, $10,000 at this place, or I don't have to do this. But you're paying $7,000 a year in rent.
That's what, if I could say real quick, I've been at 100% company, and I will make more money here than you would at 100% because of all the stuff you had to pay for.
So if you're out talking to folks, and if anybody ever says to you, but what about this? But what about, you have the perfect objection handling technique for all of it.
So two things to add to that.
Well, I'm sorry, Lance, I didn't fully answer your question, so I was coming back. I will take every brand new licensee, or Sandra has to send for on a case by case basis. We have had people in here that are getting ready to be licensed that I know are going to be overly successful. then we've had other people in here that I wonder if they're gonna be able to, I'll ever see them in the front door again. So we will give you credit based on if your neighbor wants to get licensed, if you want to mentor them, if they are able to commit the kind of time, oh shush, you're a good agent. If they can give the kind of time to make sure that they can go head first in this, yeah, I'll give them a chance. But if there's somebody who says, I want to sell 1 or 2 houses a year, I'm just doing this so I can flip things
Part-time.
in a part-time, then I'm gonna say maybe they don't get credit for the changing over right away. Now, this is the only downside.
Yeah, no, I'm not even so
Well,
concerned about that. I
any-
just,
Anybody we add going forward is gonna go on the new plan. For you to get on the new plan, you need to help me bring somebody in.
Sooner.
Till
For
the whole,
you to get on the new plan sooner.
sooner,
Yeah.
correct, thank you.
Early
Lance, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So 2 things based on what Chris was sharing. One of the number one, the one big thing that I always talk about in regards to Better Homes and Gardens is the culture. Here in this office is one of the reasons that attracted me and keeps me here is because all of us work together as a team. There hasn't been one time where if someone were to ask me, can you cover this showing for me? Because I'm going to be doing a health issue or I'm going on vacation. I know that there's a number of people in this room that would do that for me. You go to some of these other companies, they're going to want to get paid. They're going to say $100, I'll go show the property for you. Okay, so that's the one thing, is culture. Number 2, and this is for you and Tracy, is if you guys want us to really be strong at selling, getting recruiting, selling the company to new and existing agents, I'd love to have something of the short list of what are the pros. You know what I mean? The cap, the no franchise fee, the no printing, fees, et cetera, et cetera. We need
propaganda.
Yeah, we need something to.
Well, that's
be able
what
to fall back on.
Facebook, just use whatever he's using social.
We've been keeping this under wraps until we could do a lot of analysis. Tracy wanted me to wait another week because I was, gone.
Hey,
I want to wait.
what was that?
I'm ready now.
That look like one on left hand or right hand? You don't think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody new
We look the same.
here.
Oh, okay. Got you, Austin.
God, Kim, is there anything you've done?
Sure, why not?
Oh,
Oh, we don't really need that last screen anymore, so I'll just open this up. Again, I'm not trying to go out and say, everybody recruit your tails off. I think this is a very, very competitive plan. There's only a couple of companies in town that can match it. I am not trying to be a 300 agent broker like some of them. That's just not who I am. That's not who you are.
What companies are those?
What companies, what?
What, you said there are a couple of companies that already are doing this. What companies are they?
EXP is probably the closest to us. The next closest to us is JPAR. But they both have, especially JPAR with their monthly, boy, I've got to be careful, with their monthly fees and rentals. I don't like monthly fees because I don't like to collect. And I don't like people to get behind. And then I don't like having to charge extra. It's just a messy. So I think overall, we are very, very competitive and certainly below a lot of the larger companies in town, Wygans, the Berkshires, the Keller Williams, we're below KW. But I think we have a fantastic culture. I think we have pretty good support staff.
pretty good.
all right.
And I think there's something to the brand name of Better Homes and Gardens. I saw a post earlier this week, and I'm gonna repeat this back to you guys. The guy says, in everything I've ever read, nobody ever asked me what company I'm with. They only care about me as an agent. And why I don't disagree with that. I will say this, if you belong to a really bad company, it's hard to overcome that, no matter who you are. It's better to start with a good firm foundation and then build from it than it is to be in a bad company and try to overcome it because I'm the individual exception of that company. That doesn't work. So don't play down the Better Homes and Gardens. You don't have to make it the focus of your presentation, but it's not only the brand, but it's those of us here that are making the brand work. Do we have other questions?
You can stop sharing your screen so they don't have to stare at that all.
Well, they may like staring at it. I don't know.
So if you're gonna get this influx, or when you get this influx, or obviously we're trying to attract talent that already knows the.
Have some idea what to do, yeah.
What kind of mentoring or what have you guys thought about, just to get them on board with?
Yeah, we just want their money. No, we have. Tracy's been working on onboarding. I'm gonna be working on starting the Oxy classes all over again so they can get into our tools. We're still running our Tech Tick Thursdays.
Anybody's welcome to our ninja class.
The ninja classes is fabulous. I just love what they're doing. If you guys need somebody to give you some encouragement and some monitoring about your activities, those guys are killing it. Not only in what they're doing day to day, but their production has started coming out. They're all of them. I'm very impressed with them. And that's free, by the way. You just stop in and see Lynn.
When are those?
Hmm?
When are those?
Monday at 10,
Tuesday at 9.
Tuesday at 9.
Greg.
Little too much coldness in there, Greg?
There's too much cold. Going to my head. So again, I'm gonna ask one more time, please try. If everybody on these meetings and this brought in one agent, we'd all be done, moved over before June. I don't expect that, but some of you obviously know some people. You're co-oping with folks now. Sound excited that instead of raising our money, we're cutting our expenses to raise our volume. There's only a couple of ways to make more money. Volume's one of them. Changing your price structure is another. Let's go for volume. What do you guys think?
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna end the meeting unless anybody online's got something they want to say. Nope, okay.
Bye.
Thank you all very much.
You should tell